It should have been straightforward. Just a simple sale. A clean break. 5 months had passed since everything changed. They said that was enough time. Enough to heal, to move forward, to start breathing again. The card remained untouched in the garage, like a shrine. It still held her scent, a soft hint of vanilla mixed with something artificial. I opened the driver's side door slowly, like stepping into a chapel or maybe a tomb. Dust coated the surfaces. The air was thick. Quiet, yes, but far from peaceful. I moved with precision. It's how I've always been. Wiped down the center console, dusted the dashboard, vacuumed the floor mats. Then I opened the glove compartment. It clicked. That's where everything began to unravel. Inside was a weathered envelope, edges soft from time. My name was scrawled across the front in her familiar, graceful handwriting. I stared at it. Time froze. She never wrote letters. Not even when she was alive. Goodbyes made her uncomfortable. My hands shook once, just briefly, before I steadied them. I tore the flap open. Inside was a photograph, and tucked behind it, a hotel receipt. 3 nights, a seaside resort, booked under a name I didn't know, but somehow recognized. I'd seen him once before, at her funeral, standing in the back, crying harder than I had. I sat in the driver's seat for nearly an hour, just staring at that image. It wasn't posed, it was real, too real. Her head rested on his shoulder. His hand rested on her thigh. Their faces were relaxed, content, familiar. This wasn't a one-time mistake. This was a routine. The receipt was dated 3 months before she died, 3 months before the crash. She told me she was going on a retreat, said she needed time. I believed her. I gave her space. Foolish. But anger didn't come right away. No, what I felt was colder, quieter, a numbness that spread beneath my skin like frost. Something felt off. I reread the messages she'd sent that week. Polite, distant, too formal. I'd chalked it up to stress at the time. Now, every word looked rehearsed. Fake. I typed his name into a search bar. No wedding ring in any of his photos, but he had posted a tribute to her the day she died. Forever M, just an initial, no surname, no tags. But I knew she had been in his life, his heart, his bed. While I sat at home, waiting for her return, I didn't confront anyone. Not then. I became an investigator instead. Pored over everything. Emails, archives, hidden folders. She'd covered her tracks well, but not perfectly. I found a duplicate hotel key in a winter coat, a lipstick shade I'd never seen her wear, and a playlist, his songs. I listened to the entire thing. 3 hours of someone else's memories. There were more photos. Backup she'd forgotten to delete. Him kissing her neck. Her smiling in ways I hadn't seen for years. I drove to that hotel. Said nothing. Just observed. The receptionist remembered her. Remembered them. She mistook me for the man in the photos. "I hope your wife comes back soon," she said kindly. I nodded. She never really left. Fragments of her were still scattered in other people's lives. But not mine. Not anymore. The final proof came in a manila envelope. I hadn't hired the investigator out of jealousy, but for clarity, I needed the full truth. The report laid it all out: dates, names, receipts, witnesses. It didn't span weeks. It covered 2 years. Not just one man. 2. The one from the picture. And his friend. She had orchestrated a double life, parallel to mine. I didn't scream. Didn't cry. I just waited. Then I found him, the man from the photo. I mailed him the picture, along with a note. She told us both we were the only one. He responded 3 days later. I didn't know. "I'm sorry." I never replied. I didn't want an apology. I just wanted him to understand. Her sister later invited me to a memorial dinner. 5 months. Friends, family, stories. I went. Pressed shirt. Clean shave. Calm. They all looked at me like I was still mourning. Still the heartbroken husband. I waited until dessert. Until the room was quiet. I found something, I said, standing. I pulled the photo from my coat pocket. Held it up. Silence fell. Her mother gasped. Her sister turned her face away. I approached the man who had just spoken about her loyalty, laid the picture in front of him. No more lies, I said softly. No anger, just truth. Then I walked out. Behind me, the room fractured. Voices clashed. Chairs scraped the floor. I never looked back. The next day, I sold the car. Didn't even bother cleaning the passenger seat. The buyer shook my hand. It's in great shape, he said. I nodded. It wasn't. But he didn't need to know that. On my walk home, I passed a shop window and caught my reflection. I didn't look like a grieving husband or a victim. I looked like someone who had uncovered the truth and no longer carried the weight of it. She buried my love somewhere I'll never be able to reach. So I buried the truth in return. Final cost, one photograph, and silence. I still sleep just fine most nights.